Imagine a tiny country, barely the size of Maryland, tucked away in a corner of Europe where it rains constantly and the sun barely shines for half the year. Now imagine that this same small nation is the world's second largest exporter of food, trailing only behind the massive United States. It sounds like a fairy tale, right? But it's not. It's the result of a mind-blowing technological revolution that has turned the Netherlands into the global capital of high-tech agriculture. While the rest of the world struggles with unpredictable weather and shrinking farmland, the Dutch have built a literal empire under glass. They are growing millions of tons of fresh produce using 90% less water and almost zero chemical pesticides. This is a journey into a world where technology and nature shake hands to solve the global food crisis. Welcome to Future of Farming, and today we are going to pull back the curtain on the incredible Netherlands greenhouse farming technology. You're about to see how they've managed to turn dark, cold winters into a perpetual summer of harvest. Before we dive into the fascinating mechanics of these glass cathedrals, I want to invite you to join our community. If you love seeing how technology is changing our world, please hit that like button and subscribe to Future of Farming right now. Your support helps us create more deep dives like this, and you definitely don't want to miss what we have coming up next. Now, let's get back to the story of the Dutch miracle. To understand how they do it, we have to look at the scale of these operations. We aren't talking about small backyard greenhouses. We are talking about massive, high-tech industrial complexes that cover over 36 square miles. From the air, parts of the Netherlands look like a shimmering sea of glass. This transformation didn't happen by accident. After the devastating famine of World War II, the Dutch government and its people made a vow: never again. They invested everything into research and development, led by the world-famous Wageningen University. They stopped looking at farming as a gamble with nature and started looking at it as a precision engineering challenge. Step inside one of these structures and you won't find much soil. Instead, you'll see rows upon rows of plants suspended in the air or growing in stone wool, a material made from spun volcanic rock. This is the heart of their water-saving magic. In a traditional field, most of the water you pour on a plant simply evaporates or runs off into the ground, taking fertilizers with it. In a Dutch greenhouse, every single drop is accounted for. They use a closed-loop hydroponic system where nutrient-rich water is delivered directly to the roots. Any water the plant doesn't drink is collected, filtered, UV sterilized, and sent right back into the system. This level of efficiency is why they can produce a pound of tomatoes using only a fraction of a gallon of water, compared to the 28 gallons it takes in an open field. But water is just the beginning. The air itself is part of the technology. These greenhouses are often sealed tight to create a perfectly controlled atmosphere. They even pump in extra carbon dioxide, often piped in as waste from nearby industrial plants, to boost the plant's growth by up to 20%. It's a brilliant circular economy where one industry's waste becomes the food for another's growth. The result is a harvest that is not only massive, but incredibly consistent. Every tomato, every pepper, and every cucumber is perfect because the environment is perfect. But how do they maintain this perfection when the sun goes down, where the temperature drops below freezing? That's where the real high-tech wizardry begins. As we move deeper into the mechanics of these glass giants, the most striking feature you'll notice is the light. If you fly over the Netherlands at night, you'll see vast areas glowing with a strange, otherworldly purple and pink hue. This isn't for show, it's a precisely tuned light recipe. Scientists have discovered that plants don't actually need the full spectrum of sunlight to thrive. They're most efficient when they receive specific wavelengths of red and blue light. By switching from traditional high-pressure sodium lamps to advanced energy-efficient LEDs, Dutch farmers can give their crops exactly what they need to maximize photosynthesis while using much less electricity. These LEDs are revolutionary because they don't produce the intense heat that old bulbs did, allowing them to be placed right next to the plants, or even in between the rows, to ensure every leaf gets its fair share of energy. This constant, optimized light means the growing season never ends. While a farmer in the US might have to wait for spring to plant, a Dutch greenhouse is harvesting every single week of the year. But it's not just about the light, it's about the brains behind the operation. Every square meter of a modern Dutch greenhouse is packed with sensors. These sensors monitor everything: The humidity levels, the exact temperature at different heights of the plant, the nutrient concentration in the water, and even the rate at which the plants are breathing. All of this data is fed into a central computer system that acts like the brain of the farm. If the humidity rises by even a tiny percentage, the computer automatically opens a vent or adjusts a fan. If a cloud passes over and the natural light dips, the LEDs brighten instantly to compensate. This level of automation is why the future of farming looks less like a tractor in a field and more like a high-tech data center. And speaking of tractors, you won't find many of those here. Instead, you'll find robots. Imagine an autonomous machine gliding down a rail using high-definition cameras and artificial intelligence to scan every single tomato on a vine. It can tell the difference between a tomato that needs 2 more days to ripen and one that is at its peak flavor. Some of these robots can even pick the fruit with a gentle touch that mimics a human hand, ensuring no bruising occurs. This solves one of the biggest problems in global agriculture: labor shortages. By using AI and robotics, these farms can run 24 hours a day with minimal human intervention. But don't think for a second that this makes the food fake or full of chemicals. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Because these greenhouses are sealed environments, the farmers have incredible control over pests. Instead of spraying toxic chemicals, they use biological warfare. They introduce beneficial insects like ladybugs or predatory mites to hunt down the pests that would normally destroy a crop. It's a natural, healthy ecosystem managed by cutting-edge technology. This combination of AI, robotics, and biological control has pushed yields to levels that were previously thought to be impossible. A single acre of a Dutch greenhouse can produce as much food as 10 acres of traditional farmland. It is a vertical and horizontal explosion of productivity that is setting the standard for every other nation on Earth. However, as incredible as these glass houses are, the Dutch are already moving toward an even more extreme version of this technology, one that doesn't even need a glass roof. The success of the greenhouse model has led to the next logical step in the evolution of agriculture: vertical farming. In this ultimate expression of the future of farming, the Dutch are moving crops indoors into windowless, climate-controlled warehouses. Here, plants are stacked in layers reaching toward the ceiling, lit entirely by LEDs and fed by precision hydroponics, or even aeroponics, where the roots are misted with nutrients. This technology allows food to be grown literally anywhere: in the middle of a desert, in the freezing Arctic, or in the heart of a crowded city like New York or Tokyo. By growing food vertically right next to where people live, the Dutch are helping to eliminate the need for long-distance shipping, which significantly reduces the carbon footprint of our food. This isn't just a business for the Netherlands, it's their biggest export. They are now taking this knowledge and these systems to every corner of the globe. You can find Dutch-designed greenhouses in the scorching heat of the Middle East and the humid plains of China. They are teaching the world that we don't have to be victims of our environment. We can engineer our way to abundance. But as we look at these glowing towers of glass and steel, it's important to remember why this matters. By 2050, our planet will have nearly 10 billion people to feed. Traditional farming simply cannot keep up without destroying more of our precious forests and using up all our fresh water. The Netherlands has shown us that there is another way, a way that is sustainable, efficient, and incredibly productive. It's a vision of a world where no one has to go hungry because the weather didn't cooperate. As we wrap up this look into the future, we want to hear from you. Do you think this high-tech, robotic approach to farming is the right path for humanity, or do you worry that we are moving too far away from nature? Would you feel comfortable eating vegetables grown in a completely artificial environment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love starting a conversation with our viewers. If you found this journey as inspiring as we did, please share this video with someone who cares about the future of our planet. It's the best way to help our channel grow and keep these stories coming. The technology we've seen today is just the beginning. From the shimmering glass fields of the Netherlands to the vertical farms of our future cities, the way we eat is changing forever. Thank you for joining us on Future of Farming. Stay curious, stay informed, and we will see you in the next video as we continue to explore the innovations that are feeding the world of tomorrow.